was about to say, like, one of the interesting things is that, like, when you're in the kink community and you end up having kids, that is, oh boy, ain't nothing stopping your fun like having children.
You know, I wouldn't know because I have not spawned.
Yeah, neither have I, and I guarantee I'm not going to have any crotch goblins running around. It's
As our friend Queso so
yeah,
puts it.
yeah.
Crotch goblins.
Like,
Oh, God.
I actually had someone else call them crotch goblins, and I was like, "Oh my god, that is hilarious." No, but no, I'm just not. I don't have any kids like in the plan or in the works. So yeah.
Yeah, same here. Same here. You know, I'm too broke for a kid.
Good old technical issues. Yeah, yeah. Ain't that the truth? So
For real, though.
So I actually wanted to ask. So, how long have you been working in leather, man? Like,
So I first started doing little basic bits of leatherwork when I was in my late teens, like 18, 19. I would buy spikes and studs and make my own spikes and studs on bracelets and stuff like that, through like scrap leather that I would just find, old belts that I would take apart and do stuff. So I've been working with leather pretty much my entire adult life, but I really got into the kink aspect of leather making sometime. First of all, I'm old.
I like how that came in there.
First of all, I'm old, so I mean, I've been doing leather work as part of a regular hobby since the early O's, and doing kink work since probably, you know, starting to make my own kink gear sometime around the late O's, 07, 08, 09, something in that. And then I joined the public Pittsburgh kink scene around 2010 and started publicly selling my leather gear around 2012.
How old is the kink scene in Pittsburgh, really? Because it's like that's what I thought.
So it's morphed in, it's gone through various iterations, and there is no overarching one scene. There used to be
was one overarching one scene at one point.
There have been a couple of different overarching scenes at one point, but it all depends on who you know, and who you don't know, and what people you know and don't know. Yeah, so it's all of that. Because when I got into the kink scene, there was a public dungeon in Homestead.
Okay, so funny story, I actually do know that. It says, only as old as... Charlie said you
well, my knee. My knee tells me it's cold outside and has been raining.
You said various. You mean various countries, or do you mean counties? Because to be honest, here in Pittsburgh, like we do have like multiple different counties with different people that do leather work.
Yeah,
but like not everybody's leather work is actually that great. Like
it depends. It honestly depends. Some people. Okay, so leather work is a major journey.
Yeah.
Like, you'll start off doing simple stuff and figure out what works. And then over time, like any hobby or craft, you'll refine it. And so I don't think it's necessarily that some people are bad at leather work or have less quality stuff. They're just in their process of learning and growing as a hobbyist, as a crafter, as an artisan.
See, I like that because that is an artisan. It is an artisan craft. So, like, it's one of the oldest artisan crafts. Like leatherworking, metal, what is it, goldsmithing and stuff like that.
I mean, leatherworking is probably the oldest craft.
Yeah, because you needed clothes. Yeah.
But yeah, yeah. It's certainly older than metal.
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is.
But in modern times, it's still it's one of the crafts that has not changed in a very long time. There have been different techniques that have been pioneered, but honestly, you mainly still use the technology that you would have had 200 to 300 years ago is the same way you make leather.
Okay, so there was a thing that you were bringing up earlier, right? Because I'm looking at one of the questions that we got. It clearly, like, Charlotte asked, wonder if leather quality varies by countries, like Italy and Spain.
Okay, so it depends on the tanning process.
Okay.
It depends on your starting material. Have the cows been well treated? Also, there is a lot of not real leather out on the market that is marketed as genuine leather because it's got just enough leather content to be allowed to be called leather. It is leather dust, leather strips, leather scraps that have been ground up, sealed between two pieces of plastic and rubber cement, and made into sheets by other nations such as China, Pakistan, and other things like that. And it's leather in the sense that there's leather in it.
Okay.
But it's not actually real leather. Like, it's not...
But why the cement?
To bond it all back together.
Oh, okay.
To bond it all back together.
There's nothing else you could use for that instead of cement? I thought that cement would be a little bit...
Rubber cement is...
Oh.
Rubber cement.
For some reason, I wasn't thinking rubber cement. I was thinking, like, legitimate cement.
No. Rubber cement.
Okay. So that does make sense.
But if you get... and the process of tanning leather is different, not necessarily by countries, but by regions or by what type of leather they're trying to produce. Okay. Italy and Spain produce some amazing, beautiful leathers. And there's also many different types of leathers. In my work, I try to use a little bit of all different types of leather. The type of leather that you're wearing now, the collar that I just made you, is made out of a veg tan leather, and I went ahead and dyed it furthermore black with a water stain.
So that's how you made that. That's actually really cool.
Yeah. So it depends, but so you've got veg tan leather, chrome tan leather, and oil tan leather. And chrome tan leather is made with chromium sulfate, and that's more your garment leather, or the leather you've got on your couch, or the leather that I use to make floggers.
Okay.
It's a softer, flexible, more flexible leather. It's what you're used to: leather jackets, leather purses, stuff like that.
Okay. See, that's it says. Yeah. See, this is why he's here for this. Why they're here for this episode.
You can tell. So in fake leather, chances are it'll melt, because it's not real. It's mostly plastic, and therefore will melt.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Real leather. You got a lighter?
I do not.
Okay, neither do I. Because I try to light my belt on fire. And literally it won't catch on fire. But fake leather will melt.
Oh, wow. See, that makes sense, because I used pleather for, like, a lot of different stuff that when I was using cosplay.
Also, depending on the fake leather, it can actually be lit on fire because it's a petroleum product.
The gasoline smell that you smell on them. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Hey.
Yeah, plastic. Exactly, plastic.
Yeah.
That is what a lot of vegan leather is actually it's plastic. So it's a fucking petrochemical. So it can either melt or will be flammable.
Oh,
whereas real leather is fire resistant.
Look at that. BDSM under kindling. Isn't that wonderful? It's like, oh, wow. And because I was wondering about that because I always smelt like that gasoline smell on pleather.
That's another good way to tell if your leather is real versus fake. Is how does your leather smell?
Oh, wow.
So if you've seen me vend my leather, you've been at my table many a time, and you know one of my spiels is I'm like, feel it, smell it, love it.
Yeah, and I always heard you say that, and I never knew. I was like, smell it. It's like, isn't that like the Yu-Gi-Oh card players when they just start sniffing the cards? No, there's an actual legitimate reason for that, and
exactly.
I did not know that.
You want to smell the leather. First of all, it smells amazing.
Yeah.
If you do not mind the smell of leather. Some people, absolutely, it's too much. It's a sensory issue thing. No worries. But most people, even vegetarians and vegans, love the smell of real leather because it's a very nice smell.
See, my mother has always, if she ever saw this podcast, she would probably be like, wait, what? There's an episode, because she was talking about being on an episode. I think she was joking. I don't think that she was actually serious. If she was, that's going to be interesting to have her on here to talk about that.
Yeah, cute.
But yeah, but like, and her and I go backwards and forward on like conversations on this. But she's always been what you call like those fur lovers. Like the people that go out there and buy mink all the time. And then she's always talking about her mink coats. And I used to be like, you do know that like you have enough mink to basically put one back together. Like,
yeah, yeah. Fur. I mean, I also enjoy fur.
mm-hmm.
I will never buy nothing new fur. Because I generally think in this day and age, we do not need to
be getting fur coats or anything like that, especially when we can make artificial.
Well, no, not necessarily. There's enough of it already made, is what I mean.
Yeah.
Because
you can recycle that, can you?
Absolutely. Well, that's the thing. So once you've tanned the hide,
mm-hmm.
the process of tanning the hide is so it doesn't decompose
mm-hmm.
and denigrate. You tan it so you preserve it so it'll stay around, and it'll stay around forever if you take care of it properly.
Yeah, because a lot of those old like fur coats, like I was talking to my mom because she had like another one, and I'm just like, it's like you don't need all of that. Like I don't understand why you have so much of it.
And I mean, yes, there are lots of great synthetic alternatives these days to help you keep warm. I don't particularly like most of them because, once again, petrochemicals, and I don't want to support.
Yeah,
I don't need to support ExxonMobil more than I have to by living in America.
I was about to say, sadly, us ABDL, the ABDL community, we actually do understand that we contribute to that because of the plastic, but like. There's just a certain feel of plastic, and I was like, there's not enough of us to really fuck up the world. But
as one of your is that Charlotte? I can barely read that because I'm getting old and can't see shit.
Yeah, it's Charlotte.
Awesome. Fake leather does crack. Real leather can also crack if you do not take care of it. Like if you do not properly condition your leather or clean it properly, it will get disgusting. Like you have to take care of it, and it will break and crack.
You see that in pleather a lot. Actually.
You see? Oh yes. Well, that was the point. Charlotte was bringing up is definitely it cracks, it flakes. It's not. I mean, it's just not good stuff. I mean, for lots of reasons.
Mm-hmm.
The process you have to go to making it is not good. Not necessarily that the process of going through leather is all that great either, because the chromium sulfate, that's also not great. But it's a process that has been going on for hundreds and hundreds of years, and it's way more sustainable than making all products out of petrochemicals.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, that's a fossil fuel and a finite resource where there's always going to be more animals.
That's true.
So, in some regards, leather is actually more eco-friendly than pleather. And also, yeah, I definitely think we need to take a hard look at factory farming and all that other sort of thing. But at least I'm using the byproducts from
previous used leather or currently like. Yeah, I know.
Or the hides, just like, at least I'm using the byproduct, because they would literally throw it out if it wasn't for leather.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, when it comes to, like, because I've been to the Renaissance Fair and stuff, which I think you worked Renaissance Fair a couple of times.
I've never worked the Renaissance Fair, but I go and have fun there because.
Yeah. And your leather work is always really good, and I love your work, man.
Yeah, well, now you got some.
Yeah.
Now you got some.
Yeah, look at this. I would do what they say, pop the collar, but you really can't do that when you have a choker on. It says, by the way, I had a dying tooth taken out a few days. Oh, wow.
Ouch. Oh, I'm going to have to get a couple of teeth removed coming up soon, and I'm dreading that.
Yeah, no, leather smell can definitely be relaxing.
Oh, yes. If I need to relax, I go into my leather shop and just sit down at one of the chairs that I have variously scattered around my workshop and just sit and relax. Maybe pet my cat, not a euphemism. Like literally pet my cat and smell leather and just relax.
I was gonna make the joke about like when they were saying about having the tooth taken out. I had Dr. Doom as a dentist, so I have to go and get like this one tooth removed. Not removed, but fixed. Because he like cracked the tooth in half. So I gotta get that done. And this is like back when I was in high school. So like Doom over here decided to deep clean my teeth without any anesthesia. So I got the wondrous experience to have my teeth deep cleaned with a drill, without any anesthesia. It was wonderful. Yeah, when I say wonderful, I mean terrible.
Yeah, clearly that's what you mean. Oh my goodness, that.
Well, no, I have to give it credit because let me tell you something. That is horribly painful. However, it's like this is why I could take way bigger hits at certain points in time. Like during BDSM, because after experiencing that, let me tell you something. It's like a video game. Your pain threshold jumps up a lot. Like, because you go, well, it doesn't feel like that.